Hi, here's a selection of LPs I've bought recently at various car boot sales, and a couple I bought at a record fair in West Yorkshire recently. Had a good haul on Sunday. It was such a nice sunny day. I had a big car boot near where I live in Ilkley, and I managed to get quite a fistful of albums. Some not exactly in mint condition, some in very good nick, but all for £1 each. So I'll show you what I got. The first one you can see here is a pretty famous Pink Floyd album called Animals, featuring of course the flying pig above Battersea Power Station. The funny thing about the Floyd's album covers were they are all incredibly elaborate, apart from perhaps Dark Side of the Moon, but they don't feature much camera trickery. That really is a flying inflatable pig you see in the sky above the chimneys. And similarly, the sleeve for a momentary lapse of reason, I think it was called, featuring about 300 hospital beds on a beach. That wasn't trick photography. They did actually cart those beds down there and then take the picture, which is something I quite admire in a way, that they didn't resort to Photoshop or any of that jiggery pokery. The album is a good one. It's one I've wanted for a while actually. I've not heard much of the later Floyd stuff, and this one is right up there I think with Wish You Were Here and Dark Side. The next one is another Floyd album. Very famous Gerald Scarfe designed sleeve. You'll know this one, I'm sure. The Wall band, so famous they don't even have to put any details on the cover. The sleeve isn't in the greatest condition, though it is intact. The vinyl though is in very good nick, surprisingly. Very striking Gerald Scarfe designs, as you can see. Normally the sleeve is a dead giveaway that the vinyl is going to be absolutely knackered, but in this case I was pleased that it all plays very well. The next one is a Fairport Convention album. I don't know it, Full House. I'm more familiar with some of the early stuff. I think this is one of the later albums, but again it was cheap and it's in mint condition. Leo Kottke, great guitarist, love some of his 1970s work. This is a best of compilation. I've got quite a few of his records on CD and they're nearly always excellent. I don't have anything by him on vinyl, it's very hard to find. So I was pleased to get that one at a bargain price. Next one, very exotic design for Hawkwind, In Search of Space, a classic space rock album from the early 70s. I don't know a lot of Hawkwind. I know Silver Machine and Urban Gorilla and one or two singles like that, but I'm going to give it a spin, see what it's like. If it's no good, you can always go to a charity shop and they can make a bit of money out of it. It only cost me £1. Then there's Lynyrd Skynyrd, Street Survivors. Quite a prophetic album cover, quite a grim story to it really, in the sense that the band, or most of them anyway, perished in an aircraft crash. Unfortunately the last album shows several of the band on fire. It's quite a grim association. They never withdrew the sleeve, but you might have thought they would have done, given the tragedy, the extent of the tragedy. There it is, one of their last records, classic gatefold. They were a great band. Never made a bad album as far as I've heard. Now, the Bonzos. The Bonzo Dog Band, as they were then called. This is I think their last studio album, Tadpoles. What can you say? Just classic, great British eccentricity and whimsy. Vivian Stanshall, I think, is an unsung hero of mine. And this is a reissue, which is why it only cost me a fiver at the record fair, the original, where it goes for 6-7 times that. Next one, another car boot find, Led Zeppelin 3. Cover's a bit beat up. In fact, it does have its inner wheel. As you can see, it just needs a little pin to anchor it in the middle, but it's all working. Another one of those really elaborate album covers. They must have cost a fortune to do, but the band was so big by that stage, I guess, that they didn't mind what they did. Another great gatefold sleeve with an awful lot of detail. I think this is one of the best records. It's a much more acoustic sound than their other stuff. A lot of it was written and recorded at the remote cottage in Bronior, probably pronounced that wrongly, in Wales, and I think a lot of it was just bashed out on acoustic guitars originally, so like the Beatles' White Album, it kind of retained that feel, but a classic record. A great buy for £1. Here's another one, Pink Floyd album. This is metal, and unfortunately, as you can see, somebody has stuck the sticker from Dark Side of the Moon, I think it's from. I think those were the original stickers that came with Dark Side of the Moon. Have stuck it on the front of metal for some reason, but I guess you can't grumble because it was a cheap buy again and again. Another classic gatefold shot there of the band. Seemed like every album in those days had a luxurious gatefold sleeve. There was a pretty obscure cover, but a very good album by the Floyd. I think this was Pink Floyd's last album, Final Cut. Again, these are all £1. So I was really pleased to get this. It's in mint condition. I haven't played it yet, I don't really know it, but I'm always intrigued by anything the Floyd do. And this one, well, it's supposed to be their bleakest record, which given, The Wall and Animals and Dark Side and all those albums, that is saying something, but I certainly want to give it a go. If I don't like it, obviously I can take it down to the charity shop. Now then, this is what you might call a restoration project. Hawkwind triple album, Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. It's completely beat up. As you can see, sleeves coming apart. It's got its album. It's got its 3 records inside. It's a triple. 2 of which are in very good nick. 1 of which is knackered. So I don't know. I'll give it a spin. I think 2/3 of it is a live concert. The Space Ritual or whatever they used to call it when Hawkwind played live. But I shall give it a go, and if it's no good, again, I'm sure we'll get a few pounds for it down at the RSPCA charity shop. And then, I think the pièce de résistance, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, great copy of this, only £1, would you believe, at the car boot, and it's in great nick. It's got all its inserts, as far as I can tell. You can see tenement building with the various pictures. The Zeppelin certainly loved their elaborate cut-out sleeves, and this one is no exception. It must have cost a fortune to make, a double album with some great tracks on it. A very hard rocking album as well. It's got a fierce sound, a tremendous sound to it, which sounds, I think, even better on vinyl than the CD. They made a poor job originally of mastering the Led Zeppelin CDs, and the vinyl, I reckon, is pretty much your best bet. There's the back. Sleeves a little bit worn down the edges. Vinyl's in good condition, plays very well, and it was in a big box of LPs for £1, so couldn't really go wrong. Well, that's the latest haul. I'll post a few more clips when I get some more bargains. Who knows, it might be a long time before I get another one as good as this. Bye for now.